Hello everyone. We are clearly entering into an interesting phase of economy and thus the markets. So let us actually look at kind of three or four parameters in that sequence. So let us start with what is happening on the global front. So clearly the base case that we had developed over a period of time was that with the vaccines being fully available and most of the developed countries being vaccinated to an extent of 60 to 80%, there were no lockdowns expected. Clearly, that has been one negative surprise that has come in incrementally over last a month or so, which has led to changes in certain assumptions in terms of how the aggregate demand is likely to pan out. So clearly, it has created a risk as of now. Whether it will be intermittent or whether it will sustain for some time to know, that is to be seen. So that is clearly what is happening on the COVID front. It has been a little counterintuitive, given that the base case of vaccination and thus complete opening of economies across the developed countries was likely to play out is getting delayed. So that's one factor. Second is coming to what is happening to the aggregate demand, what is happening to the aggregate demand on the goods and services side on the global front. Clearly what we observed over last 15 months is about to change. Because we went into a phase during the COVID whereby the fiscal and monetary expansion was of a scale which and magnitude which was never witnessed in the past. It led to substantial, in a way, artificial creation of aggregate demand also that will normalize gradually. There was a household saving pool which had gone to disproportionate highs, that is normalizing. How we are looking at this scenario is that as those policies normalize, and given that these policies are almost forced to normalize now, given where the inflation has consistently been higher than where it was expected. As these policies normalize, your external demand, aggregate demand, is likely to normalize. And our take is this aggregate external demand normalization will happen more on the goods and manufacturing side as compared to the services side. So there is clearly likely to be a shift of demand from manufacturing goods towards the services, and that's where also we are still maintaining that view that inflation was still created by artificial upping of demand, aggregate demand, and as that aggregate demand goes down, as the supply chain manages themselves over next 4 to 6 quarters, your inflation still to us looks entrenched. Also the 10-year GSEC, which is just refusing to go up, also indicates that basically the markets generally are still more concerned about the growth than inflation. Although given the headline number being at 6%, gradually you would have a scenario whereby most of these policies will be reversed, and as these policies are reversed, you will have its own implication on the external front in terms of aggregate demand. So that's the scenario. So clearly, just to summarize, the COVID situation at the margin has turned little more negative than what was expected. The aggregate demand will gradually kind of get normalized, although the external environment still remains very conducive, but it will normalize from the elevated levels where it was, and that's the environment in which we are operating in. So let us come to the domestic front. So domestic still remains far better as compared to what is happening on the external front. The COVID situation in India, despite kind of basically the festivity season is over about 1.5 months back, still the daily aggregate numbers are still at 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, which is a comforting scene. It is of course to be kind of observed what happens about Omicron over next 1.5, 2 months. But as of now, the COVID situation still remains under a very comfortable situation. And given that most of the economic indicators, the mobility indicators, all are in place. So when you look at the domestic macro, be it GDP growth rates, be it the GST collections, be it the spending during festival season, be it the aggregate numbers, most of those numbers, be it the fiscal deficit number, tax collections, most of those numbers are in a comforting situation, clearly. So still the domestic macro remains in a constructive zone. And the most important, and which we have been repeating for some time, is that after 6-7 years, there are several enablers which are in place. And if I have to actually summarize those enablers, there are 3 or 4 enablers. One is clearly the corporate balance sheets in a perverse way have got cleaned up very fast during COVID because of the availability of capital, external capital, risk capital, as well as availability of internal cash flows or accentuated internal cash flows. That's one. Second is the banking balance sheet was in a kind of cleaning up of NPAs mode for last several years, and after 6-7 years, you again have banking balance sheets which are in an extremely strong zone. So both corporate and banking balance sheets are in place to drive the economic cycle as well as credit demand. So those two enablers are in place. Third is clearly the households, top 10 crore people approximately who matter from a listed entities perspective. Their situation has actually through COVID not deteriorated, but at the margin has only they experienced wealth effect. I mean, be it on real estate side, be it on the equity portfolio side, as well as the kind of wage inflation that we have seen lately in certain sectors like IT, financials, and several other sectors, white collar jobs. It clearly indicates that the household financial position for this top 10, 15 crore people has only improved, and to that extent, the consumption will remain resilient. It might not improve substantially because the rest of the guys have witnessed pain, but this situation remains good. That is third. So bank balance sheets are good, the corporate balance sheets are good, the household balance sheets which matter from listed space are good. And last but not the least, the government has given a pathway. Government's tax collection remains very strong, and to that extent, this directed capex from central government, the directed schemes like PLI and all, will keep kind of expanding, and so 10 to 15% growth on the government capex front remains the base case. So all those four factors have come in place, and most importantly, the balance sheets of corporates are in place after a very, very long period. The balance sheets of the banking system are in place after a very, very long period. These are typically enablers which have the capability to start an incremental credit cycle as well as the business cycle, and that's where from a macro perspective we remain extremely constructive. While the external environment is kind of at the margin is going to hit a air pocket for a year or so, but the domestic macro remains extremely strong. Coming to the third part of this discussion is basically how are the corporate earnings shaping up, because that's what matters the most. Are corporate earnings kind of experiencing any pain? And as far as even the last quarterly results were concerned, the earnings upgrades happen in more number of companies than the downgrades or neutral kind of results. You experience almost 3 to 5% earnings upgrade even in the last quarterly results. So aggregate on a almost 15-month basis, you almost experience about 25% earnings upgrade. Although the nature of earnings upgrade and the sectors where the earnings upgrade are happening is changing, and to that extent, it is to be seen how basically these earnings upgrades pan out over next 4 quarters. Our take is that during basically June 20 to basically June 21, you had earnings upgrades more happening on the externally focused sectors, which were basically materials, commodities, IT, chemicals, anything and everything that is to do with the externality actually experienced a far superior earnings upgrades than the domestically focused sectors or opening up sectors on domestic front. Our base case still remains that if we don't get hit significantly by Omicron and we don't experience any lockdowns, the domestically focused sectors is where 23 and 24 earnings upgrades will happen, and those would be largely to do with financials, those would be to do with the industrials, housing, cement, the consumer discretionary part, the auto businesses. So most of the sectors which have suffered over last basically 24 months, either in terms of demand or in balance sheets, most of those sectors are, because of pent-up demand as well as just recovery of the economy, will experience earnings upgrades, and that's what remains our base case. The earnings estimate still for financial year 23, 22 and 23 are at about 35% and about 15-17% growth respectively. It still remains a constructive environment from earnings growth. Having said that, given the way situation is shaping up on the external front, given the way the pent-up demand has played out over last few quarters, it would be interesting to see how the basically third quarter results play out in Jan and Feb, particularly from two perspectives, in terms of both volume as well as, more importantly, there has been huge price inflation, cost inflation, how it plays out on the margins of the companies. But the base case, to summarize, remains that the earnings are still constructive, earnings are still likely to be about 30-35% and 15-17% for next financial year 22 and 23. And to that extent, this is what we are watching to incrementally kind of alter our view or change our thesis on the markets. Coming to the last part of the discussion, which is valuation, and which is where, if you actually have been listening to us over last few months, we have been saying that the valuation at 22-23 time, which is where the valuation had gone at a Nifty level of 18,500, was 2 standard deviation higher, and that's where the biggest discomfort is, because at that valuation clearly it leaves little margin of safety, and to that extent the price and time correction that we have been witnessing for last 2-3 months is good in a sense. The markets have corrected to about 20 times financial year 23 earnings now from 22-23 time. So there is a marginal time correction and marginal price correction that has happened. But still, the valuation, where the valuations are at about 20 times financial year 23 earnings, are still higher by about a standard deviation as compared to historical valuation. And to that extent, still the earnings have to pan out as they are expected. I mean, there is no room for earnings to disappoint at these valuations. And to that extent, like what we said last time also, we still remain of the view that returns are likely to be far more normalized over next 6 to 8 months or 12 months as compared to where the returns were for last 15 months. Naturally, the investors who are coming have very high return expectations, but I think where the valuations are, they should actually normalize their return expectation. We remain constructive from medium-term perspective. We still feel that equities, given where the earnings are, given where the domestic macro is, we think that the equities as an asset class will still give double-digit return over next 3 years. But from near-term perspective, given where valuations are and given where the risks are emanating from both COVID perspective as well as at the margin how earnings pan out, that remains critical to be seen for market to do well in near term. And from that perspective, we think that you are in a zone where there will be more consolidation, more sectoral rotation from external to domestic focus sectors. Of course, it depends on Omicron not playing out. Then the domestic focus sectors clearly will experience earnings upgrades. So it's a phase where there will be a lot of rotation, there will be a lot of consolidation, both price time corrections are underway. Investors should use this opportunity to actually increase their equity allocation from 3 to 5 year perspective, as it still remains the best asset class. As far as our portfolios are concerned, our portfolios are clearly, as I said earlier also, are positioned to take benefits of earnings upgrades that are likely to happen on the opening up sectors on the domestic front. So the portfolios are overweight on the financials, the discretionary, the industrials, the cement. These are the sectors where the portfolios are overweight on. IT is the only externally focused sector which is kind of neutralish. The rest of the externally focused sectors have gradually seen their weights coming off in the portfolio. So that's how the portfolios are constructed. Just to summarize, the external environment at the margin is deteriorating. Domestic environment still remains extremely constructive. The earnings still remain extremely constructive. The only concerns that were there, which are also correcting, one was on valuation, which is correcting already, and second incremental concern clearly has been on the COVID front. It needs to be seen how it plays out. But from medium-term perspective, most of the enablers and most importantly, the balance sheets of the corporates and banking system are in place. They are typically lead indicators for upturn in economy. Given this environment, we still remain constructive from medium-term perspective. We encourage investors to actually allocate money to equities from 3 years perspective. Wish all the investors a very happy new year and happy investing. Thank you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.